I
believe if
think
they're
it
rated.
depends. It depends on the like, first of all, the prices asking price of being $115,000 doesn't mean they're selling any, right? We don't know how many they're selling, at what price, if they're selling more fleet vehicles rather than, we don't know the details yet. But if
Yeah,
there's a like, and there's a pent up demand for the last 2, 3 years for these vehicles.
yeah,
So, you can't kind of milk your fan base only so much. At some point, those prices will catch up to you. And I think one thing people are missing right now is that they believe these legacy automakers' price increases are temporary, but it isn't. They are just simply, they don't have an option other than increase prices. Because if they decrease prices, if they cut prices like Tesla does, if they even try to match half of what Tesla's doing in terms of prices, their balance sheets would implode instantly. Like for example, let's take one example. It's really important to understand this point. This is a very critical point. Okay. BMW, for example, or Mercedes, they rely on leasing their vehicles out. Nobody's going to pay, like, there's only a number of people that can pay 700, 800, $1,000 per month for these vehicles. So, therefore, they reduce the monthly payments by offering leases. And they've been doing this for many years. Okay. They've been relying on the leasing business to push majority of their production on people who can only afford, $500, $400, $600 a month payments instead of $8,000, $9,000 payments that they would have to pay if they were using a loan to finance to buy these cars. Okay. Therefore, a company like BMW has 5, 6 million BMWs, 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old BMWs sitting on their balance sheet. And at the beginning of these leases, these legacy automakers have to assume depreciation for the lease term. And over time, each month, they have to recognize an estimated depreciation amount for their vehicles, the fleet vehicles that they hold on their balance sheets. Okay. When I say fleet, I don't mean like fleet sales. I mean like these are operating leases that legacy automakers hold on the asset side of their balance sheets. And each month, as the lease payments come in, they recognize revenue and they recognize depreciation. And those are estimated depreciation numbers. Okay. So if BMW says the MSRP on this vehicle is 50,000, I'm going to assume $20,000 of depreciation over 3 years. So each month, I'm going to recognize $20,000 divided by 36 months, $555. Okay. And then because I'm saying that at the end of the lease term, when this car is returned to me, I'm going to be able to resell this vehicle for $30,000 in the used market. But if something happens, like high interest rates or disruption from Tesla, and they can no longer sell these returned vehicles at $30,000, even if it's just $29,000, just one more $1,000 of accelerated depreciation, that costs BMW 5 million cars times 1,000, $5 billion of loss on their income statement. Okay. And if it's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, that can easily add up to tens of billions of dollars of losses. And all of these legacy automakers, the more they relied on leasing businesses to push their production, the more they're going to get hit. Each automaker is on the hook for tens of billions of dollars of upcoming losses. Therefore, they have to do everything in their power to hold up the resale values of their vehicles. And one way to do that is to restrict new car production with chip shortage bullshit and increase the prices on new vehicles so that they push some demand to used vehicles, which supports the resale values of their vehicles on their balance sheets. They have to do this. There is literally no other option. They're not making a strategic choice when they increase the new car production prices. They have to increase these prices. And here's the kicker: the more they do this, it turns a vicious cycle because the more they increase their MSRPs, the more people will choose Teslas. It doesn't matter how much of a fan base they got for BMWs, Mercedes, the interior quality, or I want this F-150 truck, etc. It doesn't matter. Everybody has a price. If Cybertruck comes in $20,000, $30,000 lower than the average transaction price of S series, which is in the $65,000 range now, and tax $20,000 of options as standard, they're going to go with Cybertruck. If Model Y prices are cut 25%, 30% as they were at the beginning of this year, an increasing number of people will choose the Model Y over the crossovers from legacy automakers. And the more that happens, like I said, the vicious cycle pushes legacy automakers to increase prices even further. So this is not going to be a gradual shift. It's going to be a rapid shift. And it's already in the works. It's under the surface, but it's coming to the surface now. And I think that's going to happen in the coming months. And this is all happening before FSD, by the way. Like, we're not even talking FSD. This is purely Tesla's manufacturing prowess. Jeff?
It's good. It's a good summary. I like it. I agree. It's a good analysis of what's going on with the leasing situation, pricing situation, and